You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
What's up, everyone? This is your everyday consumer, Mikey G, and welcome to a Black-owned world. And in this video, I interviewed the owner of Dapper Luq, located in Virginia Beach. Dapper Luq is a Black-owned suit brand that designs custom-fitted suits for both men and women. He even made the suit I'm wearing right now. It's official. And if you don't live near Virginia Beach, don't worry. All you have to do is send in your measurements and he'll mail your suit to you when it's ready. But that's enough out of me. I'm gonna let him tell you all about it.
All right, so my name is Luqman Haskett, and I am the owner of Dapper Luq LLC, which is pretty much men's styling, suiting, and things of that nature. Then underneath of that is going to be the Dapper Luq collection. So that is my clothing line collection. So I do two parts to that. I'm a designer, so I design a collection. If you're familiar with fashion, normally we do it seasonally. So I just did my first collection, which was a spring-summer collection. In addition to that, I do custom suiting for both men and women all year round. Not always, but I have always loved fashion. So this actually, the Dapper Luq, as you understand it right now, came about in about 2013. While I was in the military, actually in Afghanistan, I kind of was in that mindset of, if I survive Afghanistan, what am I gonna do with my life? So I actually read this book by Robert Greene called Mastery. And in that book, he talks about, kind of finding what you love, what's your passion, and then finding a way to make money doing it. So fashion styling was like that one thing for me I really loved. So then it became, over the next few years, how do I make money doing what I love, to that sense of that, you never work a day in your life type mentality. So that's kind of what I'm angling towards, and I've been angling towards since 2014. So now I'm just retired from the military back in January, and I've done my collection, my initial collection. However, when I was on my international tour to kind of release my collection, COVID-19 hit, so I had to come back home. So, now my day-to-day is kind of managing inside my showroom and office here in Virginia Beach, and that's why I can kind of do clients individually for custom suiting. I guess doing what I wanted to do. So I, like a lot of people, don't know too many people that do what I do, but I wanted to kind of be in that realm. So I actually found a mentor. I definitely recommend mentors if you're gonna get into a field, find somebody who's already been doing it. So my mentor, Clavin Leonard out of New York, he actually took me along with him to kind of style and see how he built his collection. Then after I saw how he built his collection, I went on and built my own collection. Word of mouth. Word of mouth has been my biggest. And then also just my consistent posting. I continue to post even through when we had the lockdowns, when we had, little to no movement. I just constantly post. I utilize models that are local. So when those models, they tag their friends or they post as well, it helps me out. And then, like I said, the Dapper Luq has already been around, so people kind of understand what I bring to the table. And that was what was important to me, because I felt as though I can create the best suit in the world, but if no one knows who I am, then they're not gonna buy it because they don't know that I'm out here. So I had to first establish Dapper Luq, make sure everybody knows who Dapper Luq is, kind of set the bar for Dapper Luq. So now people know when they come to me, not only are they getting a quality suit, but they're getting it from someone who really respects and loves what he does. So it's kind of like the idea of a trainer. You're not gonna go, with an out of shape trainer to go get workouts, because you'd be like, you don't even passionate about it yourself, but you're gonna teach me how to work out. So again, I wear what I do what I love, and that's kind of important to me. So there's actually 4 parts to every suit. So initially you want to make the appointment, have you come in. Once you actually come in, we decide on the style of suit. Do you want to do a 2-button, double-breasted? Do you want to do a tuxedo? Then we have to take your measurements, right? Because all of the suits are custom to that individual. So we want to take, even if you kind of know what your off-the-rack measurements are, I want to get every measurement of you that I need to create my suit. Then once we actually get the order, we place the order. The order is made, the suit comes in. You try on the suit, so we have what's called your initial fitting for the suit. And then finally, if we need to do any kind of small alteration, although it's custom to you, they still use kind of a template to make the suit. So we might have to do some final kind of alterations, whether it be a shorter leg, longer leg, maybe the jacket doesn't quite fit as tight as you would like. And then final delivery is me giving that suit to you and hopefully you wearing it out in town. Deciding on who your manufacturers are is very important because that really determines your success. Because ultimately, when the client comes in, they're not seeing who the manufacturer are, they're seeing you. So if you have manufacturers that are slow or perhaps miss orders or mess up orders, ultimately it looks bad on you as the person providing the service, the suits. So I think that it's important you have a very good relationship with your manufacturer and you have a good manufacturer that you really trust. And then if anything goes wrong with any item, understanding that it's on you and you have to fix it and do what you have to do to make sure that it's right. Because in the eyes of the customer, again, it's all about you, not, Tom messed it up. Well, you need to go fix Tom, because that's on you. And then ultimately, I want to be able to bring back repeat customers. People are always talking about, new customers, but I think even more important than new customers are repeat customers because they already know what you bring to the table and they're already comfortable with you. So being able to keep those customers returning for every time you need a suit, they look good on you. Yes, definitely. Again, I think it is important that we begin to control our own dollars within our own community. Right now, a lot of the things that we require on a day-to-day basis, we have to go outside of our community to pay for. They always talk about how the Asian dollar stays within their community for, I think, like 2 weeks, something like that. The Jewish dollar stays in their community for like a week. The black dollar stays in our community for like 6 hours. So it's very important that we have businesses that we can go to that are within our own community because ultimately, it's not just about owning the dollar itself, it's what we do with the dollar. Many times those groups, they get our dollars and they go into their communities and they grow their communities, they grow their organizations, and they have no regard for our community, even though we're providing the money. So like anything, when you look like the person that is your customer, that is your client, you're more inclined to understand what they're going through in addition to you're going to give back to their community because hopefully your community as well. Well, I was in the Navy. I did 22 years in the Navy. And I think it played a role in a sense of the structure, the understanding, and kind of the focus. But what it also kind of left me was the mindset of I don't really want to work for anybody else. Having, taken orders and kind of being in that military structure for so long, I was like, my next kind of move is going to be definitely my own entrepreneurship. And then again, I just kind of feel like as we are shifting within this country, the Black community, one of the things we definitely want to do is begin to own our own company. So I kind of wanted to add to that. I don't know too many African-American clothiers. I know a few, but definitely this is something that I love. So if I'm able to do it, I think people can understand it. And that's why they kind of follow me because they see that I have passion for it. Everything I do is towards making a great product. Every time, I'm literally up in the middle of the night kind of talking to my manufacturers, and it's something for me because it's what I love doing. So ultimately, I feel like you should be able to do it all year round, all day, and not really feel kind of boxed in with, what it is. It definitely requires capital to get going and even to grow. So I've also applied for some grants. I don't necessarily want to do loans right now, although I may need to. I have to have that collateral to keep moving. And you don't necessarily want to get, a bunch of credit cards. It's one way, but it's not a great way. It requires a higher interest rate and you don't have as much money to work with on credit cards. So I think it's necessary to have them, but again, that's for a small purchase, not to try to fund your business for the next couple of years. Not a good look. So relationships, get with people that you trust and understand and know that you have a passion for what you're doing, and hopefully they'll invest. And even if it's a couple thousand, maybe even a few hundred, what you need to do is understand what you need money for and what are you going to do with it. Because although $25,000 is a lot of money and it's great, how do you come about that money? And do you really need that much money at one time? I think you can kind of get maybe 5,000, 10,000, and you can get that from a couple investors in small chunks and get to a level where you don't need to use those investors. Or once you begin to push your product, you kind of entice other investors to come towards you and kind of ask questions. I do need employees. They're important to handle aspects of the business. And I think it's important that I have investors that, may not love or have a passion for, but they understand that this service is necessary. And that kind of helps me with collateral. Because going into any business, you normally have one stream of income, right? With the business, that's your sales. And it's difficult to both grow and maintain off of one stream of income. So investors are necessary. So I do want investors. I have a couple now, but I want more. And I think that's going to kind of help me grow and also be able to offer more products and services in the future. So for me, actually, it was people that I've known kind of over time. I'm lucky in the sense of I've been in the military, so I have a lot of people that I've known for years through the military. And again, they see the passion that I have for this. So it wasn't a matter of kind of me asking. They actually came to me like, hey, I see what you're doing. I'd love to invest in it. How can I invest and kind of what would I get out of it? So that's how I got my first couple investors. Sizing is a big challenge. When you're making a custom product, each person is different. So being able to take accurate measurements, being able to kind of get it right the first time, because, kind of going back to what I said earlier, regardless if you get that suit messed up 3 times, guess what? You as the business owner, you're providing that service. Now you can do one of 2 things. You can continue to get it right, or you can refund that customer. But if you refund them, you've lost that sale to that customer. So you got to understand that basically what I want to do is give them a great product, no matter what it takes the first time, because then I want to have them back. And if I can get them back through the door because I've given them a great service in the beginning, it helps you out in the long run. Not yet, I don't think so. I don't think I've had any challenges. The one thing that I think that sets me apart from, I would say, a white counterpart is access to capital. I don't have as readily access to capital right now, perhaps in the future. And then for me, I've also kind of done this based off of faith. This is like a leap of faith for me. I didn't have a dad that was in the industry and then I learned behind him. I didn't have, a grandfather and uncle. Like a lot of what I do is based off of me. So I don't think I have challenges as a Black person because I love this. And so the challenges to me are more learning. I'm learning more than if it is just like a challenge and it's like stopping me. What it is kind of giving me resilience and kind of making me think beyond those challenges and making sure that I can push through. Learn a lot. Learn how to sew, learn how to, do alterations is important. It kind of cuts on those costs in the beginning. But in addition to that, I have to kind of learn every aspect of business. I have to learn accounting. I have to learn marketing. I have to learn just day-to-day operations. I have to learn deliverables, shipping. Like I kind of have to learn all those things. And I think that's important for the business owner to learn in the beginning, because when you begin to bring folks in, you understand what to look for. You can bring folks in from the beginning, but they could be robbing you blind or doing things that you have no idea what's going on. So for me, it's important to learn about the money because it's ultimately my money. I want to make sure I know where the money's going and what's happening with it. And then I want to learn every aspect of the business, like I said, so I can kind of do quality control. It's yours. I set my own times. I have 3 children, so I'm able to drop my daughter off every day and to go pick her up from school. If my boys need something, I can take care of them. And my time is my time. So now I normally have what I consider office hours. But again, mainly my business is appointment based. So as long as I don't have an appointment, I can leave and go as I want. I can plan travel as I want. I can do family events. So my time is my time, and I set it based off of my appointments and my clients. So owning your own time, Can't put a price tag on that. The biggest highlight for me was definitely my trip to Algeria. That was where I debuted the Dapper Luq collection. And I debuted it on an international stage in International Fashion Week. So being able to say that, the very first time you launched your clothing brand was in an International Fashion Week, that's like, to me, that's setting the bar really high for myself. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to do an international show. I plan to do local shows and do things here in the United States, but just kind of setting that bar initially, I want to be an international brand, and that puts me in the realm of an international brand. So for me, the biggest thing that I kind of find joy in that is when I get that person that has a brand new suit that's never really had a custom suit or has never had, other than maybe something off the rack. And also when I kind of see a young man for a prom, if he has that brand new tuxedo. A lot of kids, I've even seen it, it's like they'll come in here with jeans and a t-shirt and they'll kind of have a slouch to them. But when they put that tuxedo on, they kind of stand erect because it's like, all right, I'm popping right now. So just kind of seeing that definitely brings me a lot of joy. During the, this is the most fresh in my head because it just happened, was the coronavirus, right? If you don't have any other means of income, you have to be very, very flexible in how you provide your service. Because if it's your only stream of income, when challenges hit like a national pandemic or international pandemic, when no one can move, you've got to be able to still make an income. So that's where you kind of, as an entrepreneur, that's where you really have to kind of flex your entrepreneurial mind and figure out, okay, I can't do this. What else can I do to make income? Because ultimately as an entrepreneur, you are your own business. You are your own paycheck. So you have to constantly be bringing in new clients, providing new service, because if you don't, there's no pay. Now, I will say, just to kind of caveat that, I am a retired military guy, so I get a paycheck from the military, but at the same time, that's, I think, is a drawback of being in. Why some people are kind of hesitant to go into entrepreneurship, because there's not that constant paycheck from somebody else that you would get. For me, the only mistake that I've made are very small mistakes, like how to take measurements properly or the need to learn how to sew. So they're not really mistakes, but definitely I needed to learn to kind of be proficient at what I do and take better and more accurate measurements. Because for me, I am taking my measurements from my client and then I'm translating it to someone else in a whole nother country. So again, I gotta understand my client's sizes, interpret it to that other person, and then get a great product. So just a learning process in the beginning. Wow. My wife, definitely a good support. My mentor, and a lot of my fellow, fashionistas, models that are in the area have really helped me out. And then my military peers, people that I, was in the military with and served with, they've been some of my, initial clients, and I really appreciate that. So ultimately, just people that I've known. Everyone that I have really sold to, I'd say about 95% of them, I already had a previous relationship prior to me selling to them. So now I really have to push towards people that I don't know, making them my clients. But definitely people that I've known have really supported me so far. Integrity. Integrity is very important for me. And just kind of being able to provide a good quality service or product, right? Unfortunately, as a Black business owner, we sometimes have a stigma of our items are not as good a quality or we're not providing as good a service. So if you are within yourself, understand that you're providing the best product, continue to do that, and then it'll show through. Because regardless of what a person kind of feels, if they feel like you're genuine and you have integrity, it'll bring them to you. So I think integrity, providing a great service or product and standing behind it is very important, because if you don't, it's gonna show when you try to talk or sell your business or product to someone else. They're gonna be like, do you even believe in the product yourself? And so, having that integrity to be able to say, yes, I do, and really stand behind it is very important. I wouldn't say it's changed too much with my family. For me, I think I'm a different type of influence for my boys. Like I said, I have two older boys, 18 and 15. So one of the things that I definitely want to be able to do is be able to show them how to control their own destiny as far as owning a business or owning whatever they do, not just being an employee. I think an employee is important, kind of learning how to work for someone, because even though you're an entrepreneur, you work for somebody, you work for your clients. So if you don't have that kind of base of how do I work for somebody, then it's hard to know how to work for a person that has really no expectation. How do you create your expectation? So that's very important. Friends, my friends have been supportive, the ones that I do know. So for me, I haven't really seen a change in how people treat me or act towards me. More people have reached out to me that I don't know as a result of me owning a business. I think it's because they kind of see what I do. And ultimately, as a Black business owner, I think you definitely have to be aware that you are a role model. You are some people that look up to, because a lot of people like to be in your shoes. So you gotta kind of be responsible for how you're portrayed. And then I'll just say this, don't get into Twitter beefs and Facebook beefs, as a business owner, because people don't see you, they see your business whenever you do that. So it's just important that you still maintain your professionalism. If you know the person or not, if they bought something from you or not, it's very important you still maintain that professionalism in any interaction you have. Any business you go into initially, learn as much as you can about that business. And if possible, be passionate about it. Because again, if you don't love what you're doing on a day-to-day and you are the person running the business, it's hard to find motivation to come in every day. Why are you coming in to work every day? And it cannot be just money. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, you don't make a lot of money in the beginning. Yes, you can bring in dollars, but that's where you have to learn accounting, because although you're bringing in money hand over fist, what money have you sent out? What money are you allocating for other things that your business needs? So I think you should really have a passion for what you do and learn as much as you can about what you can do, and find a mentor if possible, because a mentor does two things for you. They kind of help you along the way as far as ideas, and hopefully they'll kind of mitigate mistakes that you may make in the beginning starting any business. So I definitely recommend mentors. The Dapper Luq, DAPPERLUQ. You can find me on all my social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Dapper Luq, and also dapperluq.com. I do a blog on there for fashion and style. And then if you're in the Hampton Roads area, you can come to my showroom and office here in Virginia Beach.
So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoy as much as I enjoyed making it, and leave a comment down below if you think you're gonna get your own custom fitted suit from Dapper Luq. I've already bought two, and I gotta tell you, it fits nicely, and I'm feeling quite dapper. So, with all that said, have a good one.
What type of suit? What's the fabric for the suit?
Can you start that again?
Yes, because we in here doing video time.